Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Term 5, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Jackie Pierce, as you hopefully already know because you saw the welcome video. This is our first of 8 weekly walkthrough videos. It's what I like to call them because literally what we do on these is take a step-by-step approach to what you need to do in this week to succeed in ENG110. Please try to get in the habit of checking your post-student email. These will come to your email, but of course the announcements page is also right on the home screen when you sign in. So you really can't miss them, but sometimes people do skip over them. And I promise you, even if it takes an extra 10 minutes out of your life, it will help you make sure that you're meeting all the requirements for English 110. And that, of course, is a big part of the battle. So without further ado, let me share my screen. I'm actually going to share 2 screens today because we're going to take a look at the course. We're also going to take a look at a Word document, which will look very much like the Word documents that you will need to use for your papers and other writing assignments this term. So we'll start with the class though. As I mentioned, we come in on the home screen to the announcements. So you really can't miss them, but make sure that you remember that they are always here. So if there was something from a previous announcement that I went over, or you are getting ready to turn in the assignment at the end of the week and you want to review the walkthrough, which is a great idea, they will all be here for you. So they're always right here in the announcements page. The other important links for you will be, of course, my grades. And we're going to talk more about that in week 2 because you don't have any grades yet. You will. So we'll talk more about that in week 2 and how to use that to track your own progress and that sort of stuff. You also have direct access to the discussion boards. Now, for the most part, I don't advocate coming here to do your discussions. I advocate doing it in the units, which we'll look at in a second. But there is a really important link here called Ask the Instructor, and you can reach it here or you can reach it on the discussions. I'm going to click on Ask the Instructor. Notice that this is a discussion board. And in order to post something, we would click the button Create Thread. And I'm just going to make one so you can see how to do it. Okay, sorry for making you watch me type, but it's the only way to get this in here and let you see how it's done. So if you have a question about an assignment or something else ENG 110 related, you can post that question here so that all your fellow students can see the question and answer. And I'll show you how to subscribe so that you always get an alert. If you have a personal question about your specific performance or a grade, things like that, email me instead. And of course, my email address is right there for you. So when you're ready, you just click the submit button. And now we have a thread started. Now you can reply to my thread, or you can start your own thread with your own question. But this is the button that I was telling you about. If I click the subscribe button, anytime somebody posts something to this discussion board, I will get an email about it. So it's a good idea. All right, so that's how you use the Ask the Instructor discussion board. The rest of your work, you're going to use the units to do all of your readings, all of your video watching, other than the announcements that I make, and your assignments. So in each unit, you will find an overview that you should read carefully. It talks about what we're looking at this unit this week. It also gives you your objectives and a list of activities. Now, I find the list of activities really helpful because I am very much a to-do list oriented person. So reviewing the course information page, that of course is over here, just 2 clicks above, Ask Your Instructor. We just looked at that. You can download and save the course syllabus under in the course information. It's on that page. Read, view, and engage with readings and resources. This is a task each week that I cannot stress enough. In an online class, the learning occurs by interacting with the readings and resources. The graded activities, the discussion boards, the writing assignments, the knowledge checks, those are based on you having learned something, right? So it's super, 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 super important to do the readings, watch any videos, all of that stuff before you tackle the unit discussion and, of course, any formal assignment. So most units, we will have a writing assignment. But in a couple, you will have what's called a knowledge check, which is basically a test. Okay, so you will you'll only get one shot to turn in the writing assignments. The knowledge checks you can take several times if you want to try to improve your score. So something to know coming up. We don't have a knowledge check this week. We have a writing assignment, which we'll talk about. So then we get to the actual materials. First is the readings and resources. And one thing I think people may skip over it sometimes because it just looks like one little, oh, here's a tiny sentence. But when you open it, because it's a file, it even looks like one. When you open it, you're going to find your actual reading assignments and any videos that are relevant. So we have the Introduction to Personal Writing, Description and Narrative. There are 2 links to your online textbook. You should read those pages in the textbook. In the Understanding the Assignment, we have another couple of things to read from the textbook. One's from the, well, they're both from Oregon Writes, but one's by Kepka, one's by Jeffrey. And you can just click on the links and it'll take you directly there. Then, and these are important too, we have things called activities, and those are where you get some practice and some in-depth instruction on how to do what you need to do. So this week's is called Understanding the Assignment. And then finally, you have a video, 2 minutes, 21 seconds, not a lot of time, but make sure you watch all the videos. The next section is super important, and you're going to come back to this section throughout the entire course. We are using APA format and documentation. One of the things that's super important about college writing is that you have to cite your sources. You also are expected to present your work in a specific manner. In this case, APA. You may have used MLA formatting in high school or at some other college. If you were taking English at a different college, a lot of times the English classes will use MLA. But Post uses APA, and that's probably good because most of the sciences, most of the social sciences like psychology, all of those are based in the APA world. In fact, APA stands for the American Psychological Association. It's still early. As you can tell, I'm having coffee, so it is still early when I'm making this. This first link is literally a template, and that's the other link I wanted to show you. So this is what the template looks like. And all you have to do is save this on your computer. And then each time you go to create a new document, use it. Okay, so once you've used it, save it as and use a different title, but keep this on your computer. It has got everything you need for your title page, including the header, which only contains a page number. So you don't even have to go into the header if you're using this template. You'll click, triple click on that so you can write your own title. You'll put your last name there, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so it is a template to fill in. And then the title goes again at the top of page 2. And this is where your essay, or in some cases, we're only writing single or 2 paragraphs. Whatever your writing assignment is, goes right here on page 2. It's already got the first line indented like you would for a paragraph. We can undo that and redo it by hitting the tab key, but that's what it'll look like. And you just keep typing. You don't hit enter until you get to the end of a paragraph. Now, for the first assignment in Unit 1, you will not use this page at all. So you can come in here and you can delete it. In fact, I would delete it entirely. I would get rid of that blank page as well. There's still a blank page. I don't know why it's being blank on me. I'm going to do it again. There we go. So you will only have 2 pages for your first assignment because you will not have any research. However, I'm going to use the magic undo button to get that back. Come on. There we go. Because in the upcoming assignments, you will use it. Okay, so when you save it on your computer, save it with the references page and everything, and then just use what you need in that first assignment and save it with a different title. Remember to hit save as. You don't want to hit this button, the save button. You want to hit the one that has a little like pencil looking thing. So if I were creating my Unit 1 assignment, I would call it Unit 1 paragraph or something to clearly identify it. And then I would go ahead and put it where I want it. I'm going to put it in my documents and hit save. So that's how you save as, and that way you can recreate the file each time, but still maintain that blank file that has the template in it. So you can come back here anytime, and I'm going to put that template on our announcement as well, but you can come back here anytime and click on this and get an APA template. You also have instructions on how to submit an assignment on Blackboard. I'm also going to show you that, and how a lot of important information from your post 102. So apparently here's a link to that information that you've already had in a different course. This week, we also have a YouTube to watch, optional resource. So if you don't watch it, it's not going to affect your score, but these are really helpful. So I would always view all videos. It's a good idea. So when you're done with the readings and resources, now it's time to do the actual graded assignments. The first one is the introduction board, or the introduction discussion board. I got all my words today. The full description of it is right here, and we have a link in each of these assignments that will take you to an expanded version of it that shows you not only the instructions, but also what's called a rubric. I'm not going to open it for this one. I am going to open it for the writing assignment, but you should play around with this. You should click on every link, right, as you're getting used to the course. But when you're ready to do the assignment, you click on the title of it, and yay, Timeen has already posted one. So we already have a participant, which is awesome. But you'll use this just like I showed you with the Ask the Instructor. The main difference is that this one gets a grade. So we create a thread. It gives you a reminder of what you're supposed to do. So we're supposed to have 2 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, you're going to introduce yourself to the class. After reviewing the assignments listed on the course information page, write a brief explanation about how you plan to use your time management skills from your first 2 classes to help you complete your written assignments. Then share your feelings regarding writing coming into the class. Now, you need a second paragraph. Now, you don't have to type these in Word. You can type these directly on this board. right? But when you're ready to finish the first paragraph, let me make a fake paragraph here. I'm not going to post this, obviously, because people would be really confused. Although maybe that would make them go watch my video. So these don't have to be formatted in any particular way. You can single space them. Doesn't matter. If you want to choose a different font, you can. There's lots of options there. But when you're ready to go to the next paragraph, go ahead and hit enter and then create a new paragraph. The way that this is set up, it automatically puts a little extra space in between them. So even if you don't hit tab to tab over, it will be clear that you're in a new paragraph. So these are not as formal. However, they are still graded writing assignments. Now you will notice I'm getting a lot of underlines. That's because I have Grammarly turned on, and you do want Grammarly turned on because it will help you even in these informal assignments to make sure that you're getting all of your grammar and punctuation correct, or it will help you at least get in the zone. So in the second paragraph, you're going to practice some narrative and description skills, write descriptively using the 5 sentences about one place that has influenced you in a positive way. It can be any place. It doesn't have to be a public place. It could be a room in your house. You should use descriptions and details to paint a clear picture of this place. All right. So that's what you're going to write in this. And when you're done, you're going to click submit. I do encourage people to write your discussion board posts in Microsoft Word so that you can save them and spend some time proofreading and editing them. But when you're ready, come in here and copy and paste. And let me show you quickly how to do that. So let's say this is my whole discussion. This is not a whole discussion, by the way, but I'm going to copy it. I hit the Control C and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit Control V. It's going to ask me if I want to keep the formatting. I'm going to go ahead and keep it. And notice it puts it in here just like it looks on the Word file. If you do that, it does help you with proofreading because you have some extra time to spend with it. So I do recommend that. But that's how you will post to your first graded discussion board. Next is, and I'm going to cancel this. Next is the Unit 1 writing assignment. So let's go back to Unit 1. We scroll down. Unit 1 is your first written assignment, and every single writing assignment comes with a full set of instructions. I cannot stress enough how important this link is right here. So we're going to click on it. Now you don't have to, but if I were a student in this class, because I like to have things on pieces of paper, I would print this. Because then I can use this as a checklist to remind myself of what I have done, haven't done, where I am in the process, et cetera, et cetera. It has your instructions. It has your requirements. You will notice under requirements, please submit a Microsoft Word document or PDF. That's why it's important to use that template. You do not want to write it just like you do on a discussion board. You want to have it in a file. The assignment should be a minimum of 7 sentences in length and should include the following. Like I said earlier, you will have that APA title page and the paragraph will be on the second page. Everything in your documents is double spaced and you use a standard font. But again, if you are using the template, everything is already done for you. So you don't have to worry about changing spacing and all of that stuff. All right, so here's the prompt. Write 1 paragraph about a specific person that left a significant and positive impression on your life. Please be aware that if you share information that is distressing, then your instructor is mandated to share that information with our counseling center. So this should be a positive experience with a person. Now, sometimes somebody who does something negative to us ends up having a positive influence. So that's entirely possible, but don't tell me about any drug stories or crime stories because that puts me in an awkward position. Considering the following questions when writing this paragraph, what makes this person what makes them, I can't read today, so significant to you? How would you describe that person as someone who does not know them? So you are going to do some visual description. I should be able to picture the person in addition to understanding how they have influenced you. Narrative and descriptive writing is a combination of description and reflection. You want to include specific details to show the reader what you're writing about and then reflect on your subject. Remember to use the 5 sentences to allow the subject to come alive for the reader. Now, if they didn't wear a particular perfume, I don't necessarily need to know how they smell. You can leave that out. You can probably also leave out taste when you're describing a person, but that is entirely up to you. So tell us what they look like and sound like. So that's your whole assignment for Unit 1. Once you are done with that, you want to go over it carefully. You want to revise it. You want to make it pretty. And then you will come back to the assignment. Excuse me, goodness. Okay, this thing always gets in the way. Sorry. You click back over here on Unit 1's assignment, and when you are ready to submit it, you click the link just like in the discussion board one. This will also remind you of the rubric. You can check that out. It's got a link back to that whole thing again. It's got a link to how to submit an assignment. It tells you about how to use TutorMe if you want to do that for some extra help. Lots of stuff there. When you are ready, you do not ever use this write submission box. You choose browse local files, and then you find it on your computer. If you remember, I put it in the documents, and I'm going to use this one. It's going to show it right there. And I say, yes, I agree to submit my paper to the local database. And I click the submit button. That's it. That's how you turn it in. All right. Now I will grade it, and then you will eventually have feedback that will look, your screen will look like this again. And I'll show you next week how to access that feedback. You should always check your feedback from all your instructors. Even if you get 100% on an assignment, it's important to check that feedback, because we spend a lot of time grading and helping you to become better at writing. So with that being said, that is it for Unit 1. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions, and I look forward to talking with you again in Unit 2. I'll probably check in with you throughout the week, but everyone have a great Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, one other quick thing, just the way the weeks work. Week 1 is a little bit different because people get started at different points, but in most of the weeks in our classes at Post, you will post your discussion board by Wednesday. In order to maximize your points, post your own response to the prompt by Wednesday. Then you have until the following Sunday to respond to 2 additional students. Okay, so keep that in mind. Start getting your mind into that kind of time frame. The writing assignment is always due, except for week 8. All the writing assignments and knowledge checks are due on the following Sunday. So our weeks start on Monday, today, week 1, March the 7th, and end on Sunday. All right. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. In the instructor information, you have the ability to text me. That is a Fuse number. I prefer texting just because I'm usually in meetings or in classes or doing things, so it's easier for me to respond to a text. And there's my email, of course, if you lose it. My office hours are Tuesday and Thursday, 10 to 11. And of course, we can always work out an appointment. If you need a separate time, just email me and we will figure it out. That's it. Everyone have a great first week of term 5, and I will see you next Monday.